Ange, how's the sort of emotion going into your final game in charge of the victory?
Yeah, look, it's okay. It doesn't feel like a final game. Didn't feel like a final training session. I guess it probably hit me on Monday when I come in and I walk out there, and I probably shouldn't be out there. So, no, look, it's obviously been a big week, but I've really been conscious of making sure that everyone within here has been focused on tomorrow night's game, because it's a big game for us, and training's been good, and everyone's ticking along well, so I'm looking forward to it.
When were you able to confirm it with the players, and what was their reaction?
I spoke to the players yesterday before training, and told them my decision, and obviously, I guess the biggest factor for me and for everyone was the timing of it, because I think they'd all be pretty pleased that I get this opportunity, but obviously with a change comes uncertainty. So I'm sure there would have been some mixed feelings there. Some of them might be happy to see me go, so who knows? But look, the players are good, and they trained really well yesterday, and trained really well today, and looking forward to a good performance tomorrow night.
You mentioned trying to ensure it's not a distraction tomorrow night. Can you use it to your advantage in some sort of way in terms of emotions and that sort of thing?
Well, do it for me. Yeah, no, I'm not big into that. So it's a big enough game as it is, and it's as I keep saying, it's what this football club's about. Every week we seem to have a big game. Last week was a massive game. The first game was a massive game, and this game's a massive game. So I don't think it needs any extra emotion or any other reason to be motivated. Brisbane have started the season very well, and they look like they're going to be a contender this year, and we'd like to believe we're a contender this year. So it's going to be a good game, and both teams like to play good attacking football. So in terms of a spectacle, I reckon it'll be a good one. So there's plenty of motivators there without having to add anything extra to it.
Was there one thing particularly you wanted to pass on to the players when you spoke to them? One thing that you really wanted to pass on?
No, not really. Again, I was conscious it wasn't really a goodbye, because I'm still here. So they would have scratched their heads if I made a big speech and then went out of training and started barking at them. So we'll leave that till after the game. But as I said, it was really just a simple process of explaining to them the decision and why it was made now, and obviously there was a bit of uncertainty at the time, but just to assure them the club was very supportive of me, and then just to really focus on Friday night, because ultimately that's our biggest responsibility as members of this football club, to make sure tomorrow night we represent the football club in the best possible manner and reward our faithful supporters who have backed us big time this year. And I was really pleased with last week. There were some real good signs for us there. Played some great football, and also against some adversity, and I think they're really good signs, but we need to back that up tomorrow night.
How do you think the supporters will be feeling about it? It's sort of happy for you to have got the opportunity, disappointed that you're no longer here?
Oh, look, I'm not really sure, but the one thing I know about Melbourne Victory supporters, they're very passionate about their football club. So for that 90 minutes, they're going to want us to win. Post the game, I guess, there may be mixed emotions amongst the fans as well, but no one can deny that they're very passionate about their football club, and I'm sure they will be tomorrow night.
From a personal sense, Ange, though, it was a bizarre script in a way, isn't it, coming together with Brisbane and Melbourne Victory, and you heading off to the Socceroos job on the same evening, effectively. Is it kind of the perfect scenario for you to say goodbye to the A-League, at least temporarily?
If we win, it will be, yeah. Still like winning more than anything else, and look, I guess it is a bit of a bizarre set of circumstances that the two teams I coach in the A-League happen to be playing tomorrow night, but I've kind of been consistent in saying that that's not really important. What's important is that two really good teams are playing tomorrow night, and it doesn't need any of the extra stuff that sort of happened this week to build it up. I think as a standalone event, it's going to be a massive game, and anyone who watched us play last week and watched Brisbane play last week, if you're a football lover, if you're a sports lover, I reckon you'll be tuning in tomorrow night or coming to the ground, because it's going to be a great game, and I think that's still the key thing.
Although it's a great opportunity for you with the Socceroos, are you disappointed in the way you don't get to finish what you've started here?
Oh, no doubt. I've said all along it's been mixed emotions. it's been a tough 2 weeks for me personally and for my family and everyone around me because, we've loved being at this football club. We've been really embraced by everybody and, look, as a coach, you never know when your end date is. Sometimes it's rarely by your own choosing. It's just this circumstance has come up now and I think everyone agrees that the timing is terrible, but at the same time, the opportunity to coach, our national team is, for me, it's a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity and one I couldn't turn down. But there's no doubt I would have loved to stay here and finish the job we've started, but I really still firmly believe that the job will be finished, regardless. This was never built as a one-man show. It never has. Everywhere I've gone, I've never done that. I've always made sure that there are quality people working with me and those quality people will remain and certainly the squad, the quality of the squad we got, I'm still confident that the job will be finished.
Would you like to think one day you could have a role at this football club again?
Oh, look, who knows? I think it's been said today that if you told me 5 years ago I'd be Socceroos boss, I wouldn't have envisaged that. But who knows? There's no doubt Melbourne's my hometown, and I'm always going to live here. And this is the football club that I'd like to be associated with for sure. But the journey in a football life takes you to some weird and wonderful places, and we'll see what happens in the future.
Do you think Kevin Muscat's ready, perhaps, to take over from you?
Look, I want to be careful about what I say because obviously that's a club decision, and it's not my call. But as an observer and as somebody who's worked with him, I think he's an outstanding candidate to take over the job, and I think he can do it. And he's done his apprenticeship. He's worked very, very hard this last 18 months. He's been a big part of what's happened this last 18 months. I've thrown a lot of responsibility on him, but he's welcomed that, and I think he's an outstanding candidate for the role, and I've got no doubt he'll do a great job. It's like anything else, we've spoken a lot about young players these last few days and regeneration. It's no different with coaches. At some point, you've got to throw them in there and give them the opportunity. And I've got no doubt that if Kevin Eve's given the opportunity, that he'll do a great job.
Would you prefer he came along with you to the national side as an assistant?
No, I don't think that's his journey. I think I think he's got real ambitions to coach. And again, I haven't. When I've moved around, I haven't taken too many people with me, and I think it would be unfair on this football club if I disrupted it any further than me leaving. I don't think that would be fair. The club's been very gracious in allowing me to move on, even though I'm contracted, and I respect that, and I certainly wouldn't do anything further to, hamper their chances or disrupt them. I'll still pick their players for the national team, but they can complain about that like I used to.
And then you miss most about being A-League coach, Ange?
I miss most? Look, I don't know. I'm still involved in what I love, so football's always been my overriding passion, and I get to do it at a different sphere now, a different level, and I guess not being in here day to day is you miss the people you work with because you've been along on the journey with them. But I'm sure there'll be other things to sort of captivate my interest at that level. I'm pretty fortunate that again, even though I'm moving on to do what I love. So I'm sure there'll be enough there to keep me motivated and interested and challenged. But look, I've had a fantastic 18 months at this football club. I came here because it's a club with massive expectations and massive pressures and real passionate people, and I haven't been disappointed in any of those areas. They've proven to be every one of that, and I love that because I'm passionate as well. So it's been a great environment to work in, and really, it's shorter than what I wanted it to be, but it's been a really fulfilling 18 months.
And as you say, it's shorter than you wanted it to be. How far along the journey that you planned out have you been able to take the club?
Oh, look, I mean, it's hard to say because, then you kind of put out, unfair sort of objectives on whoever takes over. But, we made no secret of the fact that, we wanted to be successful this year, and we'd set up the club to be successful this year. Our squad is good enough. Everything else surrounding the football club is geared for success. So we really want to have a red-hot go this year, and that's where we felt we were in our sort of development, that this was going to be our year. So, as I said, I don't think there's any reason why that shouldn't continue. But, obviously, I don't also just want to sit here and say it was going to happen because I'm not involved, and obviously, there's still some challenges ahead. But, I really believe the club's in really good shape.
Can you explain the process you went through with the club to determine whether or not you would coach tomorrow night?
Look, it wasn't massive discussion. I expressed the desire to coach because I think, again, it would be unfair for me, unless I relinquish my duties at the start of the week. I just, I took training Monday. I did the review of the game in Adelaide. To sort of lump it onto Kevin for just 2 days, I don't think would be fair on him or anyone else. After this game, there's a 9 or 10 day break before the Wellington game. I thought that was the right time, and I certainly didn't want to shirk that responsibility. If the club felt that at any stage that it wasn't appropriate for me to do it, then again I would have respected that decision as well. It was definitely the club's call. It wasn't my call, but I certainly felt the responsibility, regardless of everything else that was going on, that Friday night was my responsibility. The outcomes and the way we play, I should take responsibility for.
We'll fire those questions at you the night after the derby, and you obviously have to be a bit coy about how you approach it. But did you know as soon as Olga was moved on that this was something that you wanted?
I'm never coy, mate. I'm honest always. And when you asked me after the derby, I didn't know I was going to be Socceroo coach. So I don't have any reason to lie.
Did you know you wanted to do it at that point too?
No, because I hadn't been asked. So. My first discussions with FFA happened after that game. So, to sit there and say that yes, I wanted it or I'd been talked to wasn't totally correct. There wasn't any formal discussions, and Holger had been sort of told on that day. So I certainly wasn't going to start talking about something that may or may not have happened.
You
Last question, guys.
briefly on the game. Ange, what have you made of Brisbane's start?
Well, yeah, very impressive, particularly last week. And when you look at their team on paper, they've added some quality. Certainly, with Liam Miller and obviously Matty Mackay coming back in particular, and some of the players who've been there a while seem to have got their bounce back. So they were very impressive last week. And as I said, they look like they're going to be a contender. Good for us. That's exactly what we want, because we feel like we're going to be a contender. So, as I said, it's a Friday night game. There'll be plenty of good coverage of it. So, the derby was, as everyone told me, was a bit of a dull affair. I certainly want it to be more entertaining tomorrow night, and plenty of goals, particularly down one end.
Is the only way to sort of fight their attack by bolstering your attack as well, or are you to try and shut us down more? Or?
Oh, look, I think anyone who's watched us play and watched me coach will know what our objectives tomorrow night is. We're going to play our game, and our game is to attack. I mean, last week we went to Adelaide to a sellout crowd, and if you watch the last 45 minutes of that game, we didn't take a backward step. If you can do that away from home in front of a hostile crowd, you're not going to take a backward step at home. We're not taking a backward step. We haven't in everything we've done, and we're certainly not tomorrow night. We'll test ourselves and we'll play our game against a good side and back ourselves to win.